Hello, good evening, and welcome to the midweek fix from the LFC Daytrippers. I'm Gav, and with me tonight I have got Keith, I've Kev, and I've Chris. We've a packed show ahead. We're going to have a look at tonight's football that's just finished up in the last couple of minutes. We're going to look at Liverpool v Leicester at Anfield tomorrow night. We're going to talk about BetMate, and we're going to get all you viewers to put your neck on the line on behalf of us. We're going to look at score predictions, team predictions, and we're going to also look at our charity at the end. So stick around for that as well. And our messaging service that should kick off on Friday. So hopefully that is sorted as well. Keith, how are you, my man?
I'm great, Gav. Great yourself.
I'm good.
Yeah.
500,
It's been
500 kilometre round trip to collect the car today.
How did you get? How'd you get on?
Great.
How'd you get on?
Great.
Yeah.
I have a fucking car again. That's all that matters.
You'd
Genuinely,
expect that.
if I'd have travelled that distance and being given the van from Only Fools and Horses to take home, I would have taken it. That's how it would have been without a car.
That was the worry. That was the worry you'd have been coming home in. Now Trotter's independent.
No, it turns out it's a bit better than that. So I'm in good form. And you're in good form. That's the main thing.
Always in good form. Yeah.
Good. Always.
Well, always is a bit of a stretch. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Yeah. Do you know what? Little side note. I've fallen back in love with the tin whistle over the last few days.
Can I tell you what I ordered today?
What did you order?
Well,
banjo?
Tell us about the tin whistle and I'll tell you my bit.
Oh, I just one of the my daughter had it found it in the drawer and she was messing with it the other day. So I started doing a few tunes, learned myself a couple of little Irish things. You know, Yeah, I have belting that one out, and
it's a classic.
Come My Little Son. Do you know Come My Little Son by the Dubliners? No. It's a rare old Dublin song, cracker. I was on that one as well. So back in love with the old tin whistle, and I'm thinking about taking up the guitar as well.
Well,
but I've never played it.
While you're there,
yeah.
Banjo, 4-string banjo, right?
Love it.
Now we're going to get into serious trouble for talking about this as a start because we got given out to do.
Don't mind all that crap, right? Yeah, don't mind.
But anyway, we'll get to the football in a minute, right? So
it's almost like they've not seen trippers before.
Yeah,
exactly.
Four-string banjo, Keith. My mother bought me a really nice banjo 3 or 4 years ago at Christmas, and I just put it off for so long trying to learn it, right? But I was talking to a fella the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, but I just can't get, you know." And I was and he goes, "Just buy yourself a load of guitar plex." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, because it's much easier to hit the strings. You get used to it, and eventually you lose it, and you play with your fingers anyway." So I ordered them stuff, and they arrived today. But not only the plex arrives, there's like these little rings you put on your finger and your thumb that they look amazing.
Helps you bleed.
Anyway, going to get into it. Molly Malone will be my first song. I'm going to give a belt at because it looks the easiest. So there we go. So before long. Listen, if this doesn't work out for us, me and you down Grattan Street, just telling the rest of the bussers to fuck off. The real boys are here now, and you'd have some crack with me.
That's it. Molly Malone and Orosia Behawalya.
Yeah,
you know
listen,
what I mean?
come here.
Played them over and over again.
What else would you be listening to on Grattan Street while you're on your way down to the shop?
Probably would be listening to it in Grattan Street.
But then again, look, we'll see how it goes. But there you go. Keith's back on the tin whistle. I'm looking at the banjo, so it's going to be it's going to be unbelievable. Apologies to anyone that gets upset over the first.
Apologies to no one.
The first, I don't know how long we're on, 4 minutes that we haven't spoken about football. So, Kev, I'm going to start with you. Tonight's football, before we get into Liverpool Leicester. Man City won, as expected, against Brentford, but I heard they weren't great. Spurs were beaten at home by Southampton, and you sent me a message earlier going, Southampton bashed them in a 3-2 win. Norwich slipped up. They could have given themselves a real help, but they drew 1-1 with Palace. And the cracker of Villa Park, 3-3 Villa versus Leeds. No one wants that fourth spot, Kev. I'm going to put it out there.
They're all doing their level best to avoid it at this stage. I only saw I watched the Villa game. I didn't watch the Spurs game. Chris was flicking between the two.
I was flicking between 4 games, so I had no clue what was going on.
Well, I saw those stats that came in for the Spurs Southampton game, and if you just look at the stats, they tore them apart. They were away from Southampton away from home. They had 23 shots. They had more possession. They had more tackles. They more passes. Spurs had something like 8 attempts on goal, and I think about 4 or 5 on target. And they're the home side.
They needed a South American winger. That's what they needed.
that would have helped. Like, but they had the Dutch boy that they kept, and the late super sub and what have you. But no, it's just proper Spursy. You're 2-1 up, 12 minutes to go, and you bottle it.
Funny though, isn't it?
Well,
it is funny though. So
it is funny.
No one seems to want it. You seen United last night.
Yeah.
It's just mad.
It is mental. Tonight's the football tonight was nuts. The two games, I couldn't care less what Man City do. If they drop points, fine. I'll watch the highlights, but they bore me to tears. They don't entertain me. That style of football, that possession for the sake of possession, that will win 2-0 and take the foot off the accelerator, and that bores me. I can't find it entertaining at all.
I wonder how quick Antonio Conte gets bored with this. Genuinely.
I'd say halfway through the summer window, if not much is happening, then you'll hear noises.
Yeah.
They've got a big list. They've got a big list of managers who they tried last time, so I'm sure they can just go
back on that. Yeah, they probably
just go back on that list.
Folded in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah, go back to it.
But Keith, like when you look at the top four and you look at the bottom, Everton beaten by Newcastle last night. A real chance for Norwich to put more pressure on. They draw with Palace. And, Leeds get a point at Villa and Leeds go to Everton at the weekend. It's already starting to really hot up down there, isn't it? With 15 or so games to go. It's really hotting up down there.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's Everton, I seen it there earlier, 1 win in the last 15 games.
Yeah.
Like, this idea that they're too good to go down, I think that has to be bleeding.
Nobody's too good to go down.
Has to be questioned now, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know what Dele Alli and Donny van der Beek, if they're the players you bring in, do you know what I mean? Are they the first players on Sam Allardyce's rescue list if he comes in? I don't know. I think they could be in trouble because I think Norwich, right, while they didn't get over the line tonight, they picked up another point and they're not, they're scraping the odd point. Burnley scraping a point against United. Well, getting a point against United. Teams are getting points and Everton aren't. And I wouldn't want to be the team that's dropping. There's always someone that just fucking drops.
Tell you what, Brentford, up to Brentford in 14th. Brentford have played 24 games. They're on 23 points, right? The rest of them are either between Burnley played 20. The rest of them are on 21, 2 and 3.
Yeah,
but
Norwich are the only ones on 23.
There's 6 points between 18th and 14th. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's loads of different
7 teams. From 14th down, there's nothing in it. They're all equally as bad as each other. Like, it's
and
just
games when you're down the bottom, games in hand don't mean points on the board. You know what I mean? So
points in the bag over games in hand.
But even the thing, like, if Leeds were to go and beat Everton at the weekend, it'd put, I think, 7 points between them and Everton, which would pull them away and make Everton look behind them even more. And even though Everton would have games in hand, they could end up with third from bottom being about a point off them. And then the big thing that counts against Everton is that if it goes like that, there'll be breakdowns everywhere.
But they're running out of defenders now. Yeremina went off injured. Godfrey's already injured, and to us, one of their best players, Damari Gray's, he went off with a hip injury. So Lampard didn't seem particularly enthused by any of those coming back for the weekend.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But the biggest problem Everton will have is that they'll actually forget those football games we played, and will just keep thinking about the possibility of going down. Heads will fall off, and it'll have a massive effect on the team. That's what's going to happen.
Well, that's it, Gav. You're spot on, because with the crowds in the stadium now, that place gets so toxic.
That I said it to the lads earlier.
It's going to be the worst place to be. And as you say, a ball goes out of blade and goes into touch when it should be an easy pass, and they're going to go ape shit.
There's a bit of red on some of the advertising boards. They just use the fucking plot. Like,
Dele
Alli had to shave his head in order to play for Everton.
Can you imagine if Bournemouth would go 1-0 up?
Yeah, it'd be fucking amazing. But
could you imagine?
I can't see it, but
I can't see it. But can you imagine?
Fernanda Cheese says, "I've just logged on and hear talk of banjos and tin whistles. Is this the LFC deliverance? It might be. Might be. Never know.
Could be. Yeah, if we can learn them. If
could
we
be
can
the name
learn
of our
on
second.
the tin whistle and the banjo. Yeah,
it could be the name of our second ill-fated album. So
a difficult second album,
Yeah, exactly. 59 likes, one person doesn't like. They're obviously upset at the 4 minutes at the start. But there's 250 odd people watching, so hit the like button, subscribe, share. like, subscribe, share, but most of all, try our comments in there. And watch out later, because we're going to ask you to pick our players for the BetMate free pot competition with Liverpool and Leicester. So, Liverpool v Leicester. As I said, Keith, I'll come back to you. As I said, City have won tonight. It's gone to 12 points now, 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't expect them to drop any points at home to Brentford, and I think they're away to Norwich at the weekend. I don't expect anything. Like, this isn't the time where we're looking for them to drop points. So it's all about Liverpool. But we go into this one. With a fully fit squad, I think. Well, Henderson might be a down. And probably, I wouldn't say it has a chance of playing tomorrow if what you believe is true, or what you read is true. But we just have to concentrate on ourselves, Keith, don't we? Before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, we have to just concentrate on ourselves. Like, we can't be sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves tonight because, you know, City have beaten a newly promoted side. That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's what you fall into, the trap of just looking at their matches and it's 0-0 after 6 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm invested in this, and then it's not 0-0 anymore, and you end up getting, you know, in your horrors over Man City beating Brentford, and you shouldn't be like that. I'm not telling people how to support football or what to do, but I just mean, for me, it's not how I'd watch it. I'd be like, now, leave City, as you touched on there. Brentford isn't the game where you're expecting them to drop any points. I know Southampton wasn't the game you'd expect them to drop points, but if I learn anything about Southampton, it's that they're not a bad team. When Southampton are on it, they're a decent team, and they're the likes of the teams that you might see City slipping up against. But I'm looking at their fixtures, right? So they've got Norwich away, and then they've Sporting Lisbon away in the Champions League. Then they're away to Spurs.
Home to Spurs.
Home to Spurs. Sorry, I'm looking at this upside down. Home to Spurs.
Why
away.
Does H look like an A when it's upside down?
No, my phone's on at an angle, and it was just looking at it wrong.
An upside down angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not upside down angle. It's tilted. It's tilted, so it hasn't. The auto rotate didn't work on it.
Yeah.
I think they're away. To your head.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. I wore a hat tonight because I'm having a bad hair day, so I said I'll just put the hat on.
I thought you've been on the trucks all week.
Nah. Just like I said, bad hair day is what it is. We'll move on. But anyway, you're disrupting me, which is a random nonsense. That's not what we're.
Sorry, we're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, still public service announcement at the start of these shows. You get great football chatting here, but you will get occasional talk about tin whistles, white pudding toasties, and the like. So just accept that.
Sorry, the person that unliked the show has obviously hit it by mistake and reimbursed themselves for a like.
Good lad, well done.
Very good.
Well done.
Very good.
Kev, have we got Phil on Friday yet?
I don't know.
No, you won't have him. Trust me. Don't even go there. But Keith, come on, Keith. Tell us, will you?
Sorry.
Yeah, 15 minutes to read out 5 fixtures.
Yeah, and I've lost where I am now, so just give me a minute. So there, home to Spurs.
You only read out 2.
Home to Spurs.
Yeah.
Away to Everton.
Yeah.
And if anything about the Ev, we know they have to start winning at some stage. So yeah. Boom, that's it. We'll put that one down. Then they Peterborough in the cup. Then they've got City at home, Crystal Palace away, Brighton, Burnley. So you're probably looking at Spurs, Everton, United to see if any of them can get a draw even. Yeah. And that heaps the pressure on. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for Burnley. You're not looking for Everton to beat them. But if any of these can just get a draw, it slows them down and it sucks.
Could you imagine the reaction if Everton beat them? Their heads would fall off altogether. They wouldn't have a clue.
That's what Shawnee says. Shawnee says that Everton can't afford their annual belly rubbing by Man City this season because I think they're in massive trouble.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the game, right? So, Chris, I'll come to you because me and Kev have spoken about this before, and then I might let Keith jump in.
Thanks.
We're talking about. Me and Kev last night, I think, were talking about the comments by Brendan Rodgers and how he went about things and what he said and stuff like that, right? And Georgie, LCFC, is a Leicester fan. He's always in this chat. He's very welcome.
He's good laughing.
Yeah, he is. He's good value, yeah. And he was saying last night that he just thinks it's gone beyond him. He's kind of lost all confidence in him, stuff like that. But he says here, reports tonight that Rodgers will drop many of the big name players like Tielemans tomorrow to play Liverpool. What do you read of that? What do you make of that? Because that just seems to me like he's just starting a civil war now with him and the players.
That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But we sort of saw signs of this when he was at Liverpool, when one player would get injured and you'd get like 4 changes and a completely new system just because he can. I don't know if this is a way of him, I don't know, showing who's boss. Maybe there is a couple of players in the club who've got too comfortable with how things are going.
I will say that in the chat, the talk around Tielemans, and that's why his name is mentioned, is because he 100% wants out, according to Jogee, and he's not giving 100% anymore. But if it's only Tielemans, that's just the thing. But Jogee says there he will drop many of the big names tomorrow night.
Well, if you're talking big names, so Vardy's not playing anyway because he's injured. So if you're talking the real big names, then is that Maddison, Tielemans, Soyuncu, Schmeichel? Are they all the ones he's dropping? I doubt he's dropping Schmeichel.
Yeah. There are not many big names there now, is there?
No,
without Vardy. Like...
Well, you have to look at what their big names would be.
Yeah.
Because
I would say Pereira is one of their best players.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's only back from his broken leg the other day. Yeah. The broken leg he got in December.
You know.
Yeah, James Justin's just
but look, instead of going into names, just that report that he will drop many of the big names like Tielemans tomorrow. Chris, I'll say it to you again. What's he at? If he goes out tomorrow and he drops, say, 6 of the players that started that cup game, which was a really strong team, by the way. If he goes out and drops 6 of them, what's he doing?
I don't know if it's his way of trying to show his boss, because he does have this little power trip in him.
No way.
In him. I know it's hard to believe sometimes. You know, listen, Rodgers gets a bad rap from the fans. You know, I didn't actually mind him as Liverpool manager. I think his last season he was rightly sacked. He should have been sacked 6 months earlier than he was. But there's one or two things that have happened in it. Either he's been told by the owners, we need to start again with you, and you've got carte blanche, and you could just basically cut who you want. So this is his way of throwing his weight around to where he can go certain big names. You're all not playing, and don't go. And go if they go crying to the owner, they can go. We don't give a shit. You're going anyway. But I think you've made the point is slagging over the team off, saying there's some players here who think they're better than they are, and they haven't been performed for a while. Well, if that was me and I'm buying Tielemans, I'm not paying as much money as I was before because you told me he's shit. And I know you don't want him now. So you've kind of knackered your bargain position. The other one is, I wonder if he just thinks the pressure's on him now. And he just thinks, I might be going, so he wants to go down swinging. I just think he's gone about it completely wrong. You know, so he's probably perfect for Man United, to be fair. So, you know, maybe that's the hope.
Owen Conway says the talk is Barnes, Ndidi, Soyuncu, Iheanacho, and probably Tielemans on top of that. But obviously no idea if it's true. It's a very strange one, Keith. As I said, me and Kev have spoken about this, so we'll kind of step over a little bit. But for you, the comments from him after the cup game at the weekend, and then this rumour that he will drop names like you see on the screen along with Tielemans.
But the biggest name there is probably Maddison, that's not even mentioned. And he's probably, I'll be honest, he's probably the biggest show pony / fair play player I've ever seen. You know, when everything's great, he's great. But as soon as it gets difficult, he goes missing. I mean, he's the one who's had COVID, like a few of the other players where they're going to the darts when you're not supposed to go to and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, and Maddison has form of being really crap in these games against us.
I don't know. It could be all just bullshit talk, and he'll name as strongest team as he can because he has to win games to get where he wants to go. But Keith,
it doesn't look
good. Yeah, but listen, come here. I'll put it to you this way, Keith. It doesn't look good, right? If he's mad about the United, if he's mad about the United job, right, and he's really mad about it, and I wouldn't put it past him at all. He doesn't give 2 fucks if you manage Liverpool. Like the unwritten rule is, if you manage Liverpool, you can't go and do United, and vice versa. And nearly the same for players, right? There's very few that have played for United and come to Liverpool, and vice versa. And there hasn't been one since the fucking 60s or something that's transferred directly between the two clubs, right? But he doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care what he said in 2013 or 12 or 14 about, you know, the institution that he's at and the club and the history and the values and this. That's all fucking pie in the sky stuff from him. But surely, like, and even Manchester United, who are fucking mad in the head, right? Even they should be looking going, is he going to comment about our players like that if he don't perform? Is he going to drop a load of them during the week and risk a heavy defeat just to make his own point. He's actually by doing this, he's actually, and if he does do it, by the way, but Keith, if he does do this, he's actually weakening any position he wants, and that includes clearing the squad out and signing more players, because possible signs ago he's fucking off his rocker, right? Getting fucked out of the club, he's going the right way about that, but that doesn't look good, and I'm getting sacked by Leicester. And possible new jobs where they go, if we give him a load of money, he's just going to fucking throw a tantrum here. That looks like what he's doing. Am I right or wrong, Keith? Because I have to ask that, because when it comes to Rodgers, I just fucking despise him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him either, to be honest. I think Rodgers he's a gambler, he's a snake oil salesman, he's a gunslinger. I don't think he's trying to blow her up at Leicester. I think he's desperate to try and throw shite at a wall and make something stick. He done it with Liverpool. He done it at Liverpool. He fluked into formation changes and, you know, players going in to get him out of a hole. Chris touched on it, you know what I mean? That he'd be changing, chopping and changing, and something would work for him. And he always felt like he was reaching for something. He never felt settled. Now it's starting to go belly up for him at Leicester, and it's thrown. This better be good, because you interrupted me a minute ago. This better be good.
Sorry. Okay, I'll be quiet. Go on, you carry on. Carry say your
I
point.
forgot what I was going to say now. She interrupted me.
Turn your phone upside down there, and we know what you're talking about.
No, but what I was saying was right, that, you know, I don't think he's trying to blow it up at Leicester. I think he's genuinely just trying to do anything. I think he's getting desperate, and because I think he's such an egomaniac that he thinks he can walk into Manchester United and put them back on their perch. And I guarantee you, when he gets that job, he'll talk about putting them back on their perch, because that's the type he is. Now, people will say, "Oh, you didn't say that when he was the manager." He was a con man. He was a con man, and I think, you know, people seen it. Like, we forget, he sacked Colin Pascoe and his background staff, didn't he, at the end of the season, when he
everybody went except him,
when he should have got the bullet?
I think the club said to him, "You can stay, but you've got to clear. If you keep your job, you're clearing your backroom staff out."
Yeah,
and that was it's whether he died on his sword or not, wasn't it? That was the question. He didn't,
and that was very telling. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a touch of the slaving about him, and I think he would literally throw his fucking mother under a bus to get himself up on a podium somewhere. And I think he is trying everything to keep his, you know, when someone's drowning and they're panicking trying to stay above water, I think that's what he's doing, and he's just hoping that he can turn it around by any way to keep himself in the hunt for the Manchester United, for the Tottenham, for Arsenal, you know, any of these other big clubs that he's being linked to, Barcelona, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's what he wants, because he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread.
I don't think he's a snake oil salesman, as you said. I said I just think he's a man who gets you to a certain point, which is probably Europa League, maybe knocking on top four, which is kind of where Leicester have been, and where he got. It was kind of where he got us. He thinks he should be managing a Man United or a Liverpool or a Chelsea to title winners forms, and I just don't think he's ever going to get to that level. I just think his level in England is going to be Europa League level, occasional getting a team fourth Champions League, which, trust, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're a horrendous manager, but his ego seems to think he's a lot better ways. I think that's what we realised at Liverpool, which was after we got second and he couldn't quite get it, he couldn't quite replicate the same figure, the same situation again. You realise that he got to his level. That's what we had to do, and that's when you had to get to the next manager. And that's why I never get a United job. Forget the league form, is he can't win a game in Europe. He's absolutely horrific in Europe.
Well, not only can he not win a game, Chris, we went to the Bernabeu and he dropped Steven Gerrard and he dropped other players and thought he could go in there. He is a snake oil salesman in the sense that he comes in with his nonsense, his 3 envelopes shy. The Emperor's New Clothes, he was selling a dream and he had fucking nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a Lionel Hutz character from The Simpsons, always panicking and bleeding, chasing people away from the door. He's no good. But I just think that he's not got the chops in Europe. You're spot on with that. I think he's proved that with Celtic as well. I think he's proved.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't think
he's constantly. You know, he's got an issue there because he thinks he's more clever than he is.
Because you got to go to
but his biggest chance in Europe was with Liverpool. Yeah, because he wasn't. He gets in the Champions League with Liverpool because of a brilliant 13-14, right? But before that, when he's there, he has a Europa League run, doesn't he? Or UEFA Cup, whatever it was called. I think it was just Europa League at the time. We get knocked out by Udinese, I think, on penalties. Is that right?
We got knocked out by Besiktas on penalties.
Was it Besiktas? Besiktas.
And the year before that, we had a Russian side who Suarez scores one of the best free kicks you'll ever see to make it 3-2.
Zenit.
Was it
Yeah,
Zenit?
I think it was that.
The Hulk was playing for them.
Yeah, we needed one more. And he had his changes lined up, but then Suarez scored. And instead of doing what most managers do, Klopp would do, which is, right, I'm going to give it 5 minutes now because we've got within a goal now. We don't need to change it. He did his raft to change anyway. It took the team 10 minutes to settle down. They never got going again.
Well, Kat says, to be fair to Rodgers, he gave us a thrill in 2014 season. And he absolutely did.
Yeah,
and I'm being honest, when he took over the job in 2012, I was right behind it. I was like, yeah, I'm right behind this. He's a bit of an unknown. He's coached here and there, but I'm absolutely behind it. We need something fresh after what had gone on with Benitez, what had gone on with Hodgson, with Dalglish there. That just wasn't a long-term thing. I was completely up for it if they had the right outlook. And I was right behind him. 2013-14 was fucking brilliant. But from the 2014 onwards, the stuff he came out with, the teams he played, the formations he played, the FA Cup semi-final against Aston Villa was one of the most horrendous things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He was changing formations every fucking 10 minutes against an Aston Villa side that he should have just went out and beat. And he lost 6-1 to Stoke and should have went. And I couldn't abide by him when he came and stayed in the job. I just couldn't abide by him. And that's just the way it was. But Kev,
Gerrard's last game against Manchester United, he drops him, puts him on a half-time, gets sent off in a couple of minutes because his head is bleeding all over the shop. But like... He wanted to be the star, do you know what I mean? He always wanted to be the star. And as I said, the Emperor's new clothes, you know what I mean? He's going there and he's telling you he's this tactical genius on this and on that. And you're like, what do you think of me clothes? And you're like, you're in the nude here, Brendan. Like, what do you want us to tell you? He's like fucking Kanye West. He tells you, you know what I mean? I'm wearing a bin bag here. How do I look? Well, you look poxy, but you're telling me it's good, so I believe you. And we fell for that. And
I just think when he goes to Celtic, he wins leagues, and that's fine. But in Europe, listen, you can't expect an over way too much at Celtic because of the standard of play you can get to Celtic to start with, and then you're going into Europe, you're at a bit of a disadvantage. Now, in fairness, I think Martin O'Neill has got them quite a distance in the Champions League. Neil Lennon definitely did as well. And you know what? It's Rodgers, it just doesn't work for. But look, leave him for the moment. Shawnee Lawson says he was unbearable in his last 6-8 months at Liverpool. He absolutely was. Kev,
we all knew he was a dead man walking because he only kept his job for the Stoke was because Klopp wasn't ready. That was the only reason he was still there.
And he was willing to get rid of a load of people. But Kev, I'll bring you in because forget Park Rodgers for a minute. We get back. We might touch on him later. But with us, you know, it comes out Henderson has a bit of a back issue. Origi's back in training. Everyone else seems fit. They all seem flying. The training pictures, the training videos seem absolutely brilliant. It's the complete opposite to Leicester, isn't it? Like, we're not going to be too affected by what City have done tonight because we expected it. We're just looking at ourselves going in and going, we just must beat Leicester City and then beat Burnley on Sunday and look at it again. And to have literally everyone available, bar it looks like Mane and Henderson, is... Like, Liverpool has to be absolutely gunning for this. And even the players that get in the team, Kev, they have to be gunning because they know everyone fucking else is fit. This isn't a free ride here.
Yeah. We've, for the first time in a long time, we've got live options pretty much all over the park. And look, I don't believe for a second that Leicester are going to rest anyone. Not a hope. I mean, it's career suicide. It would be career suicide for him. And we haven't beaten Leicester in the league since December 2020, I think. So our record against Leicester is poor of late. You know, we went through on penalties in the League Cup, but it was still only a draw at home. You know, so whether it's a hoodoo or not, I don't think so. But in Pats and Daka, they've got live threats if we get things wrong. So the midfield is going to have to be on it. The line is going to have to be spot on. We're going to have to be right on it because I read an apology from Leicester players in their local press today, from Soyuncu, from Yuri Tillemans to the fans, that they put out through the press that they apologised for the performance. They know it wasn't good enough. We want to put it right. But they were taking responsibility when they didn't have to because the manager had already thrown them under the bus. They want to leave anyway. The likes of Tillemans, he didn't have to talk to anyone, but he did.
I don't get. What's this new fad now of every time it's a bad result, you've got to It's
They do it on
apology-
social media.
It's apology social media. If I was a fan, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Don't tell me you're sorry. Go on the fucking pitch and do
I don't
it.
buy that
need
crap.
it.
I don't buy the crap on social media at all. But
If Liverpool
when
did that,
you've got-
it would piss me off more. That'd piss me off more than the loss.
well,
Don't apologise.
would you rather the players ask questions and they just batter them off with stereotypical answers of, look, I just don't want to answer your question, so I'm
No,
No.
you wouldn't,
care.
Kev. But if the manager comes
don't-
out on Saturday evening after that game, or Sunday evening after that game, and turns around and said, listen, and I said this the other night, if he turns around, Kev, and he says, that wasn't good enough, we've just spoken inside, every player has said it's not good enough. They've on their behalf, because they've asked me to, I'm apologising to the fans that have travelled here today, watched on TV, and we're going to try put it right. It stops it all,
That's
Kev.
that's what should have happened.
But
And
he
because
goes
Brendan
off on this
decided
tangent, right? And nothing is wrong about Brendan Rodgers, right? Brendan Rodgers sent them out and allowed them to keep doing what they were doing on that pitch on Sunday. But nothing was
Making
about
the
Brendan
early
Rodgers.
changes.
And now the players, days later, are having to come out and make apologies, right? Because, like you said, the manager has decided he's going to have a right fucking go off them. That's not the place to have a go off them, Kev.
But
Like,
at
I
the
put it
same
this way,
time,
Kev, I'm not your boss, right? I'm not Chris's boss. I'm not anyone's boss. I'm my own. That's it, right? But if you've done something on this show tonight and I didn't like it, I would not do it on this show and say, Kev, that's fucking out of order, blah, 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 blah. And it could have been something that no one noticed, but I did.
Yeah.
But I'd say it afterwards, and I'd say,
Yeah.
Kev, what the fuck was that about, right? And you go, listen, I didn't mean to say it, I'm sorry, and that'd be done. But if I go out and make a big deal of it now, and then you make a big deal of it 3 days later, it's turned into a massive deal when it could have been the smallest thing. And it was a bad defeat, Kev, but the way he carries on Sunday evening has triggered these players to feel like they've come out and go public on their performance, when they could have went public straight after the game with the manager, the head of that team, saying we apologise and whatever, and we're sorry, and we try to put it right. But he didn't. He's over here shouting one thing, now they're over there shouting another. But
we said this last night. Rodgers handled this probably the worst way possible. The players could have just ignored all the media questions from local journals today or yesterday, and they didn't. They answered the questions probably as honestly as they could. I can't believe for a second that those players aren't going to want to get back out into the pitch, and for their own sake, if Yuri Tillemans wants to move out of Leicester, he wants the best move possible, and no better place to show it than at Anfield against Liverpool and against a side that in the last 18 months they've done okay against. Now Leicester are in 10th, they're in a horrible run of form, but let's not kid ourselves, they're very good. Some of them are very good players. They're well capable of getting a result if they apply themselves properly.
Couple of comments.
So this is why we have to be right on it. Like,
couple of comments here. Rodgers was distancing himself from blame. It doesn't take Leicester changing room to turn the manager, let alone the one that throws him under the bus. Trevor says Gav has another one of those. I don't know what that is, Trevor. You'll have to give me a shout on that. Unforgivable dropping Stevie G at Real. That's gone from a comment a little bit earlier. And let me see. Kasper Schmeichel and Jamie Vardy run that Leicester dressing room. We'll have to wait and see. But look, on to us. Kev, I'll stay with you.
yeah,
I'll stay with you. Every player in this squad now, bar probably 1 or 2, 3 maybe, know now that if they don't play right, there's fellas literally banging on doors and pushing them out of the way and training and everything else to get into this side. That can only be a good thing for us. It can only be a good thing.
it's massive because of the importance of every game that we've got coming up. We're playing every 3 days now pretty much for the rest of this month. And if things go right, March is going to be no different. So having the ability to keep it fresh and rotate and do it with quality is vital for us if we want to go deep in all these competitions. We're already in one final, and there's no reason why we can't keep going. You know, I mean, I know Phil was saying on Monday night he's not bothered about the FA Cup, but you know what?
Yeah, but don't mind Phil. Phil's
No,
mental.
but for the first time in years, we have a squad capable of getting results in cup competitions where we haven't been able to do this before. You know, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be looking at every competition and managing the squad properly through this. Fine, Henderson misses out tomorrow night. Okay, Fabinho's there. Naby's still there. Ox is there. Tacky's there. And Tacky, for all of the bitching and moaning that people do about him, he contributes. He contributes goals and assists and key moments, and he does a job. And a squad is built around people like him because they don't bitch and moan, they don't complain. They come on when they're asked to come on, and they do their best, and you can depend on them to try. Now, there's squads up and down the country, up and down the league, that don't have half the quality that we have, and would die for what we have. But our fan base seems to think that around every corner there's something new, there's something better. Sometimes just look at what we actually do have and appreciate it for once, that we've built a hell of a squad, and we're bringing the average age of the squad down as well. You know, and we're doing it quietly without any drama or fuss. You know, we're in a great spot at the minute. We really are.
Just says it's amazing what one signing and no injury does for depth. It really is. It really is. And it actually makes it, I think it makes it easier if you have them all fit to nearly see who you don't want in the next 6 months or 12 months. Because there's always that doubt if someone's injured, he could come back. But if they're all fit, you kind of start getting a feeling as, listen, everyone's fit here, but he's not playing him, and he's not playing him, and he's not getting a sniff. And it really shows you that, listen, I want them all to do well, but it starts to show you over a period of time who's just not going to cut it and who would look to be replaced. But that's a conversation for the summer. Keith, before we get into trying to predict lineups and do a little bit on BetMate, Mo Salah comes back to training there yesterday, I think it was. By all accounts, he's telling Klopp he's ready to play. Me and Kev were having a discussion about it last night, saying maybe the bench, but you wouldn't put it past him to start. Where do you stand on it?
A lot of people are commenting, you know, that I've seen on social media, the oracle of everything. He doesn't look happy. He's, you know, his body language isn't right and all that. And you wouldn't expect any different. He's just flown back from a tournament where he played about 10 games worth of games in the last couple of weeks from all the extra time and all he had to do. So, you know, he's not going to come back with a spring in a step. And he's after losing the final of the AFCON, which we don't rubbish it, but I mean, we can dismiss it and look at Liverpool only, but you look at what it means to Sadio, it means the same to Mo. You're going to be upset about not winning it. I see him coming in, and I don't see him starting him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, and I know that's a cop-out. I'd leave him on the bench, and I'd bring him on and give him 30. But you know, with Klopp tends to not let them decide themselves, but there's some players in the squad that he does let sort of play when they want to play, and Mo was one of them. Mo was the number one of them. Do you know what I mean?
I'm wondering if it's pre-arranged, pre-agreed, where he said where Salah turns and says, if I get to the final of this and I fly back on fucking Tuesday, I'm playing Thursday. Right? If I'm not going to play Thursday, I'll fucking see it on Friday. Do you know what I mean? Or I'll turn up Thursday for a bit of training. I'm wondering if it's pre-agreed, but it was pre-agreed before the African Nations, before fucking Mo Salah kept playing a game and a half every time he meant to play a game. Do you know what I mean? The obvious thing is to leave him on the bench and say, look, you're only back. If we're winning the game handy, come on and fill your boots. If we're losing, we might need you. Get on. It's one of those where you get the last 20 or 30, depending on what way the game is going.
And we're not desperate for him. That's the thing. You know what I mean? We all thought we would be desperate for him before, when you know, in the month leading up to AFCON, the dread that came in, the fact we were losing Mo and Sadio. And we've got through the month. Do you know what I mean? We've done well. Lads have stepped up. Jota has stepped up, as he always does. Right, Bobby hasn't got many goals, but he's played well in the games. Taki has chipped in with a couple of goals. We've got where we've got to now. We've brought in Luis Diaz. We've brought back Harvey Elliott. We have options now. So there's no need to really throw Mo in. Do you know what I mean? You can realistically, you could start with Jota, Bobby and Diaz if you want in this game. Shuffle them about a bit. Someone's playing out of position, but you could do that and bring Mo on. Or you might just go and say, look, from the start, as you say, pre-arranged, there you go, Mo's on the right. If he's tired, we'll take him off. And we can then bring on one of the other lads. The options, having the options. The key thing, I think, is that Klopp came out and said it. We're going for 4 trophies. And he knows now the squad that he has, everybody's fit. Touch wood. You know what I mean? Sadio could have fallen off that bus. I don't know. He could have been mobbed. We don't know. It was health and safety wasn't the the prime concern there.
And
But
it shouldn't really be, should it? Like,
I'm
let's
all
be honest
for
there.
that. Yeah, I'm all for that. Run them up, lads. Enjoy a Féileacáin boots. But the reality is, Sadio comes back fit. Hendo, by the sound of it, just has a knock and isn't serious. So we've literally got a full strength squad for the first time in God knows how long. And there's quality in that squad as well. And we're placing ourselves nice. Look, Man City are in the driving seat in the league. We know that. All we can do is put pressure on them from here on in. All we can do is do our job. You said it at the start, Gav. We have to stop worrying about City. We just have to put the foot down. And if we do that, City are under pressure by that alone. Do you know what I mean? It's just Liverpool. They're motoring. Hold on, they've got playing 5 options now that he can realistically throw in there. Do you know what I mean? So it's something it'll be interesting to see.
It's not even that. Liverpool have 11 players who go on the pitch. We can pick 7. Isn't it 7 on the bench? 7 on the bench, and there's probably 2 or 3 more that could rightly claim that they should be on the bench, and that hasn't happened in a while. You've seen some of our benches over the last even 5 or 6 games, and there's
even the last game of the weekend just gone, but I think there was 2 or 3 kids on there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's one of those. The medical department would have looked at the fitness and decided how much he can do. Klopp has said before they tell him what players can do minutes wise. So Keith, I'm going to stay with you, right? And then the 2 boys are going to jump in. But I want you to name me an 11 for Liverpool against Leicester tomorrow night to start us off.
It's really hard. Like, genuinely, it's hard. So Alisson will start in goal. We know that. Trent will be right back. Robbo will be left back. Virgil will be centre back. Matip will be centre back, although I'd consider Konate, but I think Matip will play centre back.
Okay.
Right, so that's not even... Joe Gomez doesn't even come into the equation here.
Right.
That's talking about strength, you know what I mean? So that's the back 4, in my opinion.
Okay.
The midfield is where it gets tricky. So I think Fabinho comes in there into the holding role. I think Thiago will start.
Okay.
And I would start Harvey Elliott, but I don't think Klopp
what's your
will.
11? Yeah, what's your 11?
I'd start Harvey Elliott. Right, so I'd go Thiago, Fabinho, Elliott.
Yeah.
And then up top, I would go Jota, I'd go Bobby,
Central?
and I'd go Jota left, Bobby central, Taki right. That's what I'd do.
So Diaz doesn't get in there?
No. I'd have Diaz and Mo on the bench. But I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he'll start Harvey, and I don't think he'll start Taki. I think Salah will start, and I think you might see fucking Milner or something going into the midfield.
Okay. So that's how you have it?
That's how I do it, just to start. And that's not to say I think Taki is better than anyone else. I just think Taki done well the other day. Klopp rewards players who do well. But my inkling is Salah goes straight back in. Do you know what I mean? I think Salah is the one player who picks. If he says he wants to start, Klopp will put his hands up and say, right, even if the sports science team say otherwise, I think Klopp would play him. But that's what I would do. And I'd keep others in reserve. I'd keep Diaz in reserve. I'd keep Salah in reserve. You have Naby, you have Ox, you have Bladen, all sorts, Curtis Jones, all these other players that can come on and impact. And I think that's strong enough.
Chris, do you disagree with any of that?
Yeah, I think he'll start Keita instead of Elliott. I think they'll keep holding Elliott back until he's ready for. And although he's ready, I think they'll keep holding him back.
Which are good to keep our back 4 and the other midfielders.
Yeah, the rest of them I'm fine with, and Salah will start. Salah to me has got the same mentality as Luis Suarez. A lot of the South American players, I think Salah's got a similar mentality, which is, I don't care if I played a day ago, I'm playing. And I think he'll do an hour against
Do you
Leicester.
Salah, Jota, Firmino?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he'll do an hour, and then he'll be told he's not starting Burnley, and Manny will start Burnley.
Okay.
And I think that's how you rotate it.
Okay.
And I don't think Henderson or Gomez are in the squad.
Okay. Kev, do you disagree with any of that?
I'd take Firmino out. I put Jota through the middle. Mm-hmm. I think Diaz starts.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Konate starts over Matip.
Okay. Is that
purely because of Daka's pace?
Okay.
Daka's pace. But then again, look, Matip reads the game really well, so I'm not too fussed either way.
Okay.
Would you be worried? Would any of you be worried, and not from an injury point of view, but would you be worried with a Konate Matip back 2 centre back pair then? in a game like this. So let's say, for
Yeah,
example,
not against this side. I wouldn't.
I prefer Joe Gomez instead of Virgil because
I think Konate's pace is as good as Gomez.
Yeah, I just think on the left hand side, I think Joe Gomez is better on the left than what Konate is on the left. Matip definitely can't play on the left hand side.
Also, Matip and Konate, it's very quiet. I do think you missed that leadership. It won't worry me immensely because that's Gomez. We did see very briefly when Virgil got injured. Gomez was starting to bring out that sort of leadership, talking quality. He was starting to lead the back line. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long because he blew his knee out.
Yeah.
But you saw like the Adrian balls up where he nearly takes Gomez out. The death stare and the authority that Adrian backed off from, thinking you hadn't seen that from Joe Gomez. So that's the sad thing about his knee injury. That was coming into his game.
Yeah.
That's been the sad thing for Joe Gomez because I'm convinced he was going to start against Cardiff if he's not got COVID.
Yeah, but that's my point. Even throw Gomez in there, we have a situation now where we've got really strong options, except for right back. We've got options everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And I think Gomez is the option at right back as well.
I think he's in match as a Simicast at right back, because apparently his right foot's not too bad.
I think you go Alisson. I think you go Trent. I think you go Matip. I think you go Van Dijk, Robertson, definitely. Fabinho will 100% play. Thiago only gets 12 minutes against Cardiff or something.
We got a great chip in the inside training video. Did you see that?
I know, but I don't know.
Give him a game. Bring him in.
He might be a little bit behind.
But I'd rather play that game, this game, than the Burnley one.
Because I think
Burnley one, the ball will just be in the air.
Yeah, I think Henderson's being safe for the Burnley game.
Maybe so. I think it's hard in midfield. I would play Elliott, but I don't know if I'd play Elliott with Keita because I don't know if there's enough in there.
You'd nearly go Fabinho, Thiago, and know they have control of the game and let Elliott then play.
Yeah. No, do you know what? Do you know what? Fuck it, I've been calling for it enough. Fabinho, Thiago, Elliott. Yeah. But up front, I'm going Salah, Diaz, Jota. I think he gives Diaz a go. I really do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know how much. If you remember back to the League Cup game when Leicester got 2-0 and 3-1 up, they just fell back, and we couldn't get in behind them. I think Jota's movement will be absolutely huge in this game, and just getting that half yard, and his finishing is fucking brilliant. The vast majority of the time, especially from them crosses and headers and stuff like that. I'd probably do that. I would probably do that. And then, if you're winning the game, you can bring Firmino on. If you're winning a tight game, you can still bring Firmino on. He holds it up well. He releases players and stuff like that. But I think I would go with that. I think that I'd love to see that 11, especially that midfield. I'd love to see it. All depend on how fit they are, I suppose.
Isn't it nice though that all fours are picked a different 11, but you wouldn't lose your shit if any of those 11s were picked? No. Whereas 5-10 years, I
wouldn't lose my shit if Curtis Jones started, or Simicast started, or Ox started. I really wouldn't.
But what I mean is 5-10 years ago we were picking. We'd have been picking 11s and going. I'm picking him because I think he's slightly less shit than him.
Yeah. And not even that, you're picking him because you're going, because them two on the bench will definitely get on. But now you're looking going, there's fellas that won't go on the bench here and they probably think they should be starting. It's a bit mental. Before we get score predictions and stuff like that, I want to do this little thing on BetMe. So BetMe, I'm going to bring it up here for us. So BetMe is very, very simple. It's a really simple concept. Basically, you sign up to BetMe, and for this game here, Liverpool v Leicester, this is a free pot. Okay, so basically what happens is you go on to BetMe, you register. You don't have to put any money in. You don't have to do anything like that. You can go in and do a free pot on, which is 100 minimum payout on Liverpool v Leicester. And what they've done is, basically what it is you have to pick 11 players, a maximum of 6 from one team. Okay? And when you do, there's loads of points to be scored. It's like fancy football, but there's no budgets. So you don't have to find money for this player and find money for that player. You just pick your players and they're scored on a points basis, okay? Keith likes the concept but thinks he's shit. Kev is very much the same, but we're going to let them off the hook this week. Chris is the man, because it's UK based, Chris is the man that's going to look after for us. But what we're going to do is we're going to make you people pick the 11 players. So we're going to go in order of Liverpool, Leicester, Liverpool, Leicester, Liverpool, Leicester, until we make up 11 players, right? So just to let people know, the way things are kind of scored, if you play less than 60 minutes, the player gets 1 point. If they play more than 60 minutes, they get 2 points. Clean sheets for a keeper is 3 points. Defenders is 3 points. Midfielder is 1. There's loads of different ways they're scored. They're scored on penalty saves for keepers. Penalty misses, loses points. Goals conceded, loses points for defenders and keepers, but not for forwards. Tackles, loads of points for goalkeepers and forwards in that one. But there's loads of different ways you can score, but it's completely free, right? So on this free pot, what you do is, in the description, you hit the link, you sign up, you get logged in, you get it on the app, you go in, and there will be a free pot there for all people that have signed up. You go in there, and what they're going to do is actually, if there's 25 people in the pot, what they'll do is they'll leave those 25 in there, they'll pay out on 5 places, and they'll start another pot that's free. And they'll keep doing that with 100 minimum payout. What we're going to do is, we've put money into our account, and throughout this season we're going to enter some pots, and we're going to pick some players, and you're going to pick them with us. And if we make any money off it, we're going to give it all to charity. So if you are in the UK, you aren't interested, in the description, it takes about a minute to set up. It's really, really quick. And when you do that, you go in and you will be offered the chance for Liverpool v Leicester free game. Keith, are you delighted that you don't have to pick these players?
Yeah, I've been reading up on it, Gav. I was a bit not dismissive of the game. The game idea is brilliant. I was dismissive of my ability to do it. But then I remember that I am a man who learned the tin whistle for a podcast in a couple of weeks. So I think I might have sold myself short, and I think I might be great at this now.
Okay.
But I've been looking at the
now
scoring.
I'm taking the opportunity to wave me.
Yeah, no, like, you give it one hand, you take away with the other. But I'm more invested in it now. So I like the idea of this. I was looking at the scoring system they have, you know what I mean? And you have keepers that make tackles. I mean, you have to look at Alisson as a keeper. Not tackles, interceptions, I think they get points for. So if a keeper is 30 yards out and he rushes out and heads it, the betmate lads are in the chat there. Do you get points for that? You know, if Alisson rushes out a goal, the ball's coming through and he heads it out because he loves an out header out of the defence when the attack is on. Alisson could be a cute one to start off and goal for this. So yeah,
look, we're going to get the people in the chat to pick. It's 11
I'm
players.
only trying to steer them. I'm not trying to influence that decision.
Well,
but if anyone picks Kasper Schmeichel,
they're going to pick
them.
Here. Chris is going to note them, and then he's going to get them stuck into the app, right?
I'm in the app now, so I can do it live.
You can do it live now, which is absolutely perfect. So what's going to happen is we're going to let them pick, and then we're going to ridicule them for doing it, right? Because that's how we roll, right? But as I said, the link is in the description. You click on the link. It's UK based. It takes you about a minute to sign up. Sign up, get in there, get in the free pot, pick your 11 players, and see how it goes. And I think you can do it right up to 5 minutes before kick-off tomorrow night. It says there 20 to 8. So 5 minutes before kick-off, isn't it? Go on, Kev, or Chris.
Sorry, the guy's also got to pick a captain and a vice captain as well, because there's a double points for your captain.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll pick the captain and the vice captain. It's double points for captain and it's 1.5 points. Or time and a half on your vice captain, right? Time and a half on your vice captain.
Yeah.
So, tell you what to do. If you want to pick players for this, just type yes. If you type yes, I will see them all, and then I will start shouting names, and you can tell me who you want in the team. And we start that now. Okay, so while they're doing that, and I'm keeping a track on that, thanks to BetMate, of course, head over, check them out they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram if you want to find out more about them. And as I said, this is a free pot to start off. You sign up, you don't have to put any money into any account. You can just go in, play this game, see how it works, see how the live table works, and if you like it, absolutely great. Go ahead, be responsible while you're doing it, as always. But things start from £2 and £3 per pot, and you can do one a week if you want, or whatever you want, but be responsible while you're doing it. Okay, so let's go to some score predictions while we get these people to...
Just so you know, Barry Devaney's put a full 11 out there.
No, Barry Devaney's not getting a full 11.
Well, it's
as simple as that. No, it's as simple as that.
He's giving you an opinion, though.
He's giving you an opinion, but no, Barry, and he has said yes, right? Barry has said yes. Emma Kavanagh has said yes. I just have to click.
Bonkers said yes.
Yeah, so tell you what, let's go with score predictions, and as the rule is always, we want goal scorers for Liverpool. So, Kev, go on, you go first.
3-0. Jota brace. and Diaz opens his account.
Oh, nice one. Chris.
Right, so can't go the same as Kev because
Well, no, that'd just be
boring, wouldn't it? Let's go 4-0. I'm going to go Salah, Jota, Diaz, and I fancy Trent to get one.
Okay, nice. Keith.
Gav, the Red Sea lads have made a very good point in that chat there. The flag on my hat is wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm more invested now in finding out what country's flag I have on me.
Do you know what that is? That was a design fault with that flag. It was only on the site for about 2 days before it was changed around.
That's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate.
No, but that's
but
a
I'm more
collector's
interested
item.
now.
Now you've got the rarity
Yeah,
value.
exactly.
You can auction that limited edition now.
Yeah, exactly. It's going on eBay if anybody is interested.
What happened with that was the design was sent in and they done it wrong, and we noticed it a couple of days later and we changed
Didn't
it.
tell me about it, did you?
No, but it looks. But there you go. Like you're
It does
flying.
look the business though, doesn't it?
You're flying.
Yeah.
You know
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, that's cool. So that's at that throw me. I didn't hear the lads' predictions because Georgie Onefoot was in the chat and is very respectful usually in how we will not take the piss. 5-1 to Liverpool. I think we will. And look, that's being serious. I'm saying it in jest, but I think we could batter them tomorrow. I really do. I think a midweek game in Anfield with a feel-good factor, with players coming back with an angry Salah, not an angry Salah, but with a Salah with a point to prove. I genuinely think we could give them a battering, and I'm giving them a token goal because I like Patson Daka, but I think we can bleed and hop off these. If you want goal scorers, I think Diaz will open his account. I think Jota will get 2. I think Salah will get 1. Is that 4? Yeah. And then I think throw in Virgil. I don't know, free for all. I like the idea of Trent as well, but
okay.
Tom Bowden says Luxembourg maybe the flag. No, I've checked. That is the same.
Oh. Let me read this one out. Dylan O'Rourke says 3-1. Diaz, Salah with 2. Red Soy has 4-0. Salah, Jota, Diaz, Trent. Diaz first goal scorer says Dylan 3-0. Salah 2 with Diaz getting the other one. 4-1 has Emma. Jota, Diaz, Fabinho with a penalty and Salah late on. You Never Walk Alone has 3-0 Jota, Salah with 2. Let me see. 3-1 Diaz, Jota, VVD says Curtis. 4-1 says Captain Salah. Liverpool, Diaz, Salah by 2 and Jota. Jota hat-trick, VVD from a corner, 2 from Mo. Fuck me, how many he scored? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, from Red Steve. Of course it's Red fucking Steve. Why didn't I read that for? Richard says, I think it's Richard Lefebvre, I want to say. 4-0 Elias, Salah, Jota with 2. 5-0 says Hassi Mia. 3-1 to Leicester says Georgie. 9-0 says the Reclaimer. It's getting fucking stupid now. 5-0 Solid Jota by 3 and VVD. 4-0 Jota, Salah, Trent, Naby. Jota is the one Georgie fears versus Leicester ever since his Wolves days. I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. Has anyone picked 3-1? No, I'm going to go 3-1. I think Georgie was retracted his 3-1 to Leicester by saying 3-1 to Liverpool. I agree with him. I think Leicester still have a bit about them going forward, but I don't know what they're like at the back. And if they go a goal down, what happens? Because they're not going to be looking at our manager. He's over there telling fucking the main stand at Leicester shit. So
the key for this one is to get the early goal, because
if you get a goal up, they're in trouble. They're in.
That's what gave them hope in the away games.
Because if we get a goal up and we're 2-0 up at half time, and even if we're 3-0 up and Salah rocks up on the sideline on 65, he's coming on like a fucking man possessed. I'm going to go with goals from Thiago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a goal from Trent. And I'm going to have a goal from
Taki.
Elliot.
What do you mean?
No. Thiago, Trent.
Surely a forward.
Oh, go on, I'll give Luis Diaz one. I'll let Luis Diaz have
it.
Yeah. So, people that want to pick players. No,
let's get these players picked.
What's the story with people not being able to text yes? It's ridiculous. Veranda cheese, of course. Edgy Guerrero says no instead of yes. Like for fuck's sake. So he's not picking. So let's go. Do you know what?
Laura Duffy throwing shade on Keith there.
Okay. Let me see. If you want to get in, press yes or vote yes or type yes or what way you want to get yes across to us. Do it now because we're going to start. And if we don't get enough, we're going to start letting us lads pick players. All right. So Emma Kavanagh.
Yes.
Barry Devaney was forced with a yes, so he gets to pick a Liverpool player. So Barry Devaney has a Liverpool player. Bonkers has a Leicester player. You'll Never Walk Alone has a Liverpool player, and Emma Kavanagh has a Leicester player. Okay, go. So they can go. And I'll tell you what we'll do. Us four will pick one player each, right? So I'll take a Leicester. Let Chris take a Leicester. Let Kev take Liverpool. And let Keith take Liverpool. Okay? So let them boys pick a first. And we go from there. But you seem very confident, lads, in this game. Very, very confident in this game.
Yeah, I was looking at... I've got good ideas on who can pick up unseen points. You know, those kind of players that... I think Trent is this game is made for someone like Trent, a defender who takes set pieces, presses high up the pitch so he gets interceptions. Chips in with goals.
Now hold on, now I have loads of yeses coming in now. Do you all want to bleed in on it now?
They all want the piece now because they know we're getting in on it.
Yeah.
Bonkers gone for Madison.
Okay, right. So stick Madison in there for Bonkers.
Emma Kavanagh's gone for Daka.
Emma Kavanagh's gone for Daka. Have you got that, Chris?
Just
write them down. Just write them down.
Georgie Wanful, great show for a Leicester player for anyone that's looking there. Kieran Dewsbury Hall, he is a fucking pest.
I don't think he'll start. I would, if I was going for a Leicester player, I'd look at Wilfred Ndidi.
Oh, hold on, stop giving the players out. Stop now. I'm trying to keep track of this, Kev, and you're throwing names out there, and you're making their mind up for them. This has to be all their fault when it goes wrong.
All right, fair enough. Fair share.
MC wants
to tell enough, Kev.
Okay, so
much for doing it in private, eh?
So has Emma Kavanagh given us a player?
Yeah, Emma gave us Daka.
Okay, has Owen Burke given us a player?
I haven't seen.
Oh, come on, lads. You have to keep.
And if you throw one in again,
You'll Never Walk Alone had a player. So Emma Kavanagh had Daka. Bonkers had Madison.
Yeah.
All right. You Never Walk Alone 97. He got a player, or he or she. I don't know.
They have given us Jota.
Okay. And there was one more. There was one other name I gave out there to give a player, didn't he?
Barry.
It was
Barry.
Tom Boland is throwing in Casper Schmeichel.
No, it was.
It was not Barry Devaney. Did he not get a show?
Yeah, Barry Devaney. Yeah.
Barry's going for Trent.
Okay, Barry's going for Trent, is he?
Yeah.
Where did you see that?
There, it's above Madison and Daka, so it's a few back.
Okay, all right. So we've 4 players picked. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and the 4 players, the people 4 picked were Emma. They were You'll Never Walk Alone, was it? No, Bonkers.
Yeah.
Barry.
Yep.
And who else was it?
You'll Never Walk Alone 97.
Right, okay. So we've 5 more. Okay, so MC gets to pick Liverpool. MSV Boss gets to pick Leicester. Okay. Tom Boland gets to pick Liverpool. Owen Newell gets to pick Leicester. And Owen Burke gets to pick Liverpool. Would that be the last? Would that be us full?
That's 9.
Okay, we might pick 2 ourselves then. Okay, so keep an eye out on them. We've read them out, so we can't do any more than that. Yeah, there's a lot of confidence in this. I'm really happy with the confidence. I'm not happy. Reclaimer won't be happy. There's 400 people watching, 180 likes. He wants 200. He wants 200 before you go. He really does. And I've gone over the hour that I promised as well, so I'm on overtime now.
Veranda Cheese is asking, is that not the Yugoslavia flag? It's not the Yugoslavia flag. I think had a star in the middle of it, but it is the right.
It's the right colour.
It's not a flag. Yeah. What you have there is just something the wrong way around.
Yeah, I know it's not a flag. Yeah. Clearly, because it's wrong.
Right, MC has gone for Diaz.
Okay.
MSV Boss is Madison.
Was Madison picked already?
Madison's picked already, yeah.
MSV Boss will have to go for another player.
Owen Burke has gone for Jota.
Jota was picked already. Fucking hell, lads, no one listen.
Ollie Walnuts has gone for Fabinho.
Who? Was he on the list?
Ollie Walnuts was on the list.
It wasn't on the list.
No, wasn't on the list.
Although we could get on the list if these don't start picking players.
Owen Newell's gone to Barnes.
Okay, so Owen Newell was on the list and he picked Harvey Barnes. So he's gone. That's perfect. So MC needs a Liverpool player. MSV Boss needs a Leicester player.
MC has gone for Diaz. Is Diaz already gone?
No, MC gave Diaz. So
yeah, we got that. Okay. So MSV Boss has to give us Leicester.
Who did he have to take?
Lookman. MSV Boss has taken Lookman.
Lookman. Perfect. Tom Boland's picked Salah.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, in fairness, I was amazed though.
Owen Burke's gone for
Robertson.
And Owen Burke has gone for Andy Robbo.
Great show, Andy.
That's 9 players.
Great show. Fucking nips at everything. Interceptions all over the shop.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, the only two positions that haven't been picked is keepers. So we have to pick a keeper each. So Schmeichel.
You have to pick 2 keepers.
Yeah, you have to have one.
Oh, it has to be a keeper on the bench. Yeah, your 4 subs have to be a keeper. Defender,
okay, so we've worked out well then.
We've made a balls of that.
We've made a balls, but it's worked out brilliantly. And if you hadn't said anything, we would have got away with it. I like them pesky kids. So it's Alisson and Schmeichel.
Yeah. So now we're going to put it to a starting team.
Starting 7.
Starting 7, 4 subs. So should we decide that? So who's going in goal?
Alisson's in goal.
Yeah.
Can you put 7 Liverpool players on this pitch?
No, it's only a maximum of 6.
In the squad. But
in the start, there's only 6 Liverpool players in the whole squad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're definitely putting Alisson in. We're definitely putting Trent in.
Okay, let me put.
We're definitely putting Robbo in as well.
But we need a defender on the bench, so we have to make sure we keep a defender back for the bench.
Robbo on the bench. Okay. Controversial. Okay.
But we need 2 defenders on the pitch.
Yeah, because we've only actually picked 2 defenders overall.
And you need 2 on the pitch and 1 on the...
Yeah. So the 4 subs have to be a keeper, defender, midfielder, forward.
But you need 2 defenders on the pitch.
So we've got loads of defenders, 2 midfielders. So we've got loads of forwards and loads of midfielders.
But we need to pick a Leicester defender then.
And remove somebody. So we need to pick a Leicester defender and remove a Leicester player.
Yeah, so should we put Robbo in the starting lineup and put a Leicester defender on the bench? Because that's probably realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, so what to do is... Yeah, but you have to take a Leicester player out.
Yeah.
So what Leicester player are we taking out?
What Leicester players have we got?
Lookman, Maddison, Daka, Barnes.
Lookman, unlikely to start.
No, you have to have... and Schmeichel, obviously. I think Lookman might be the one to go.
Yeah, so do we ask MSB Boss to pick a defender? That was who he
actually
was.
Georgie there. Georgie is a great show.
Justin.
Right, so we'll ask MSV Boss, is it okay if we take Lookman out and put James Justin in instead?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
do that and we get the okay of MSV Boss. So this is really interactive. There's loads of people giving loads of stuff.
So midfield wise, we've got at the moment so you've got Maddison.
So it's 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, 2 forwards.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need 2 forwards to start, and so 3 of each.
3 forwards, 3.
3 forwards, 3 midfielders.
MSV Boss is good with James Justin, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. So who are we going to put up front? Let's do the up front thing first, then we can work back. So we've got Daka, Jota, Luis Diaz, and Salah. And then I don't know if Harvey Barnes is counted as a forward in midfield. We'll check that in a minute.
I think you have to go Jota Diaz.
I'd nearly put Salah and Jota, and if he's not in the starting lineup, swap it before the game starts.
Oh,
that's a show.
Don't pressure, Kev.
That's a show.
What was that?
Put Salah and Jota as your front 2, but if Salah isn't in the starting lineup, swap him out before kickoff.
Yeah,
put him on the
swap
bench.
it out 5 minutes before kickoff. We're thinking well here.
Maybe start with Diaz.
Do you know?
And Jota up front. If Salah isn't starting.
But then we have to make another change, do we? Unless we're putting Diaz as a midfielder.
Well, no, Diaz is in the
4 forwards.
I'm trying to find Jota.
No. You're only picking 2 to start and 1 on the bench.
But we've got 4. Daka, Jota, Salah, and Diaz are 4 players that have been selected. We can only have 3 forwards.
You can only have three forwards. One of the forwards has to come out.
In this game, Jota's classed as midfielder.
Get in.
Oh, lovely. Fucking that's
of course he is. He's a holding mid. Lovely. He's in midfield 100%.
So we could actually do Diaz, Salah up front with Jota in midfield, and then we should pick a midfielder from Leicester.
Okay.
Who's liable to pick out a pass?
Maddison.
Who takes our set pieces?
Madison.
Yeah, but indeed he'll get interceptions and tackles all over the place.
Well, then go Ndidi. Yeah, go Ndidi.
Well, but the guys haven't picked Ndidi. They've picked Maddison or Barnes, and both of them midfielders.
Fuck's sake.
It's Maddison, I think.
Maddison, okay.
Yeah.
So we just need to put a midfielder and a forward on the bench now.
But have we not done that by just choosing our forwards and midfielders?
Well, we've got at the moment Alisson, Trent, Robbo, Jota, Maddison, Salah, Diaz. That's your front.
Yeah.
Schmeichel and Justin on the bench. We haven't. So who are your other two bench players? You need
we didn't pick. So we have to pick two players now, do we?
Yeah, they all have to be Leicester ones, but it looks at it as well. So we could use Daka and Barnes because they're the two that the team have.
Yeah.
The chat have picked, and we haven't actually used them.
Yeah, put them in then. Does that get 11?
Yeah. Emma Cavanagh is saying swap his Daka for Ndidi or Tielemans.
We can't because
you have to have a striker and a midfielder.
Yeah,
on the bench, don't you?
Yeah, so that's fine. That works out fine. So, question now is, who do you want as captain and vice captain?
So the captain gets double points,
and the vice captain
Jota's a midfielder.
Jota's in midfield. He's the captain. Jota's walking.
I'd nearly still go with Trent. If you fancy the clean sheet and you think he's going to chip in with an assist or two.
Yeah, defenders get 5 for an assist, midfielders 3, forwards
Trent's 4. The answer.
So Trent captain, Jota vice captain.
Jota vice captain, yeah. Well, what do you guys in the chat think? Would you guys go with Trent and Jota, or would you flip it around the other way?
I think you can't argue with Trent.
I don't think I would have Trent as captain all day long. In this, with the way the points are dished out,
3 points for clean sheets, 2 points for over 60 minutes for defenders, 6 for a goal, 5 for an assist.
Yeah, Trent's racking it up.
Yeah, but the other one who's racking it up is Robbo. Do you have Robbo as vice captain?
Yeah, but you don't want to hedge your bets on two defenders from the same team if they fucking
because all it takes is you can
they shut us out on the fullbacks.
Yeah.
And that's a clean sheet gone as well. So,
this is what we've got so far. Then that people can tell me if they agree. So, Alisson in goal, Trent captain, Robbo, Jota vice captain, Maddison, Salah and Diaz up front.
Yeah,
and then the bench then is Schmeichel, Justin, Barnes, and Daka.
Okay, and we need to find out. Betmate are on here in the chat. They say captain gets 2 times their points, vice captain gets 1.5 times their points. We need to find out a little bit on the substitution because I think I said something wrong the other night where I said you can make live substitutions. So I just need to verify that. I just need to go back and look at the site. But if you're signed up, it has it all there as to what you can do with regards to substitutes. I read it wrong, so I just want to say that.
Do you want me to save that then?
Trent captain. Hold on, you never walk alone. Said it. Trent captain, Jota vice captain. I'm going to start that and I'll have it ready for when the game's over tomorrow night. And if he's got it badly fucking wrong,
we'll be on with the post-match show.
Yeah. The post-match show, and we go through how many points we got in the whole lot. So we will be giving an update tomorrow. But as I said, we've gone into that free pot. If we win any money, Chris is looking after it and he's going to keep it all and it'll be all go to charity. We have put money into our account. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this likes of this all the time, where you get to pick stuff. You might only look. We've let you pick the whole team tonight, but we might say, look, we've picked this. Who would you add in? And we get you to add in. We want it to be as involved as possible. And as I said, anything we get from it, we will be taken and given to charity. So check it out. Go to the link in the description, and you can sign up in minutes. And as I said, you go in there without having to give anything whatsoever. It's Betmate's way of saying, look, this is how it works. This get a feel for it, see how the point scoring goes, see how we pay out and stuff like that. And if you like it, play it responsibly. If you don't like it, that's your own choice. Everyone has a choice to do it or not do it. Subs only come in if your starting players don't play. Here we go. Thanks. This is the verification I needed. Whoever's in charge of this Betmate account. we should be offering him a job.
That's it. Yeah, I get
Subs
it.
only come in if your starting players don't play. But if Jota doesn't start and Maddison does, who was on your bench, Maddison will come on in play.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, if any of the Liverpool players we pick don't start,
Whoever's on the bench will come in.
They'll replace them.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
do they take over as your captain or vice captain?
I
if that's
presume
the
they'd
case?
slot into the same position with the same responsibility, yeah.
That's
However, if Jota then comes on for the last 20, he'll come on for you as picked originally. Do you get me? So
right, okay.
if Jota comes on with 20 to go, he would replace.
So like if Luis Diaz,
He would substitute
start.
Maddison if Maddison came in for him. Do you get me?
yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Cool, right. So do you want me to save this team so then it's all saved?
Yeah. Fucking get it in there.
Right,
Yeah.
all saved. That's us done.
Good
That's our
stuff.
team.
Good stuff. And as I said, it's UK based at the moment. BetMate are hoping. The regulations in Ireland are different and a bit more difficult, I think. But they are hoping to expand it into Ireland at some stage. But as I said, if you're in the chat and you know anybody that's in the chat, if you know each other and you want to get involved, you can team up together with someone in the UK and get it going, sign up an account, and you can give like a fucking £1 a week and play one part, whatever you want or whatever. It's completely up to you what you do. I wouldn't tell anybody to spend that money because it's not mine to fucking spend. But what I'm saying is, if you're doing it, make sure you do it responsibly. And have a good time doing it. We're going to try to get you involved as much as we possibly can. Yeah. And I've let the lads off tonight, but trust me, when the next one comes around, we're going to literally give it to, say, Keith and go, Keith, you have to pick the whole thing, and it all rests on your shoulders. And we're going to have a leaderboard. I think we'll try to keep a leaderboard as many points we score each week. All right?
We'll be going mad. What do you mean John Walk isn't in the game? Scores penalties.
Listen, there's nobody better than John Barnes. If John Barnes isn't in it, I'm not playing. One of those, keep going home with his ball and his hat that's designed fucking awfully.
Dan Austin makes a good point. The flag is only upside down on my hat because my head is upside down because of sort of got
it's because you were reading your phone upside down. Everything's turned upside down, so the flag is wrong. But it's a great spot from the Red Sea podcast. That design, I'll put my hand up. I done the design, but the way I sent it was wrong, and they went and put it to print. And then we spotted it, and when we came back, we got it changed as quickly as possible. So anyone that has the Van Dijk stuff, it's a collector's item. Fantastic way to do this, guys, is you never walk alone. Listen, we're just trying to involve you as much as we can. We just don't want to come on and go, do this and not tell you how it works. We're trying to get you involved as much as we can. Bet may say, good luck to the Day Tripper listeners. Great fun listening to you guys and girls. Pick your team. So we've done good.
Really looking forward to this.
Yeah, let's see how we get on. And as I said,
something we can actually do on the Friday night for the weekend fixtures.
Yeah, of course you can.
Involve the people on the Friday night.
But it won't be only Liverpool games. They have got pots where there's numerous games on. Yeah. They pot them all together. This one just happens to be a free one. But when you sign up and you get onto the app, you will see all the pots that are available, what games are in them pots and how it works. And that's why they give you the free one, to make you, to show you what it entails and take your time doing it, and you get to see how it works. And then live on the night, you can see stuff going on in your app. So it's really good as well.
But it's a good idea to team up, as you were saying. You know, the chat, a lot of them, you know, they don't know each other, but they know each other from the virtual world. So, you know, it might be an idea to team up.
Well, we have
unless they're the Tinder swindler, do not give him any of your money.
I don't know what that is, but
don't give him your money.
Right.
Mrs. B started watching that.
Right, so what we look, I'll tell you what we do. Leave it with us until we get into this chat that starts on Friday, and we might be able to organise some sort of group thing, where we can pull together with someone in the UK and play it as a team and see how we get on. Aside from what we're doing here, just to try to get people involved, all right? Gav, did you just admit to messing up the Dutch flag, you donkey, says Veranda Cheers. Yeah, no, I didn't mess it up. I sent it the wrong way.
That's messing it up.
Yeah, no, it is messing up. Yeah, I did. 100%.
The hat people.
I did. It was all the hat people's fault. But look, I'm allowed to mess up every now and then. Veranda Cheese just never leaves me alone. I'll be talking to him in 5 minutes anyway, and he'll be like, I didn't mean it, sorry about that. Yeah. But anyway, before we go, Féileacáin, our charity, link in the description to their website, link in the description to our donate page. We are literally about 12 quid away from hitting $2,000, right? And it's annoying me. I might even put it in myself just to get it over, right? It's doing me fucking head in seeing the number 1 at the start of the total. But we're $2,000 in, more or less. We've only been a month at it, which is brilliant. What we got February, March, April, May, June. We've about 5 months left. 4 months left, sorry, and we want to get to this 10k. So check out the charity, check out the donate page, and as I said, if you can donate, perfect. If you can't, just share it wherever you can. It'll take you 3 minutes to share it to all your contacts across all that social media and messengers and wherever it might be. And between now and then, we are going to do a couple of events, and we're going to try raise money on different days that we're going to do. I know one of the day trippers is doing something himself, where he's doing some sort of challenge that he was doing anyway, but he thinks he's going to do it for Féileacáin now, which is absolutely excellent. So make sure you check that out. Also in the description, you will find details for the messenger that's coming on Friday. Very simple. Hit the link, you put in your email, you will get the details, which will launch on Friday, and it's completely and utterly free. There is an option to donate $2.99 a month to the Day Trippers to help us out. The only way it's going to help us is that it will help pay for the running of this app, and anything else will go to charity, because we're not going to take anything out of it. I've said it loads of times, I'm saying it again. That is it. That has been the midweek fix. 23 minutes longer than I fucking expected, but what can you do? We're having a nice time deciding if Maddison or indeed he should be in midfield. Keith, anything else before we go? Please say fucking no.
I might put the hat up for auction. It seems as though it's a collector's item now to get us nearer to that 10 grand. So get you that bids in on the next show for the hat.
Bids in.
I won't even wash it, so it'll come with the odour of my sweaty head on it.
Nice. Kev, anything else before we go?
No, all good.
Good stuff. Chris, anything else before we go?
Just one thing.
Right.
I'm only kidding. I just want to see if you flip your lid. No, nothing for me.
Okay, good stuff. That has been the midweek fix. Enjoy whatever's left, the 37 minutes left of your Wednesday. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow with the Cop update. Looking forward to the game a bit more. We'll be back, me and Kev, at 10 minutes after full time tomorrow night. Liverpool v Leicester. And we'll go from there. How does that sound? Talk to you in a bit. Over now.